Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cognitive Enhancement Training. I am your coach, Drew Morgan. There I am. I am one of the coaches out of DFW Airport here in Dallas, Texas. And today we're going to take a deep dive into increasing our awareness, and specifically increasing our awareness so that we can then maximize our potential and really recognize our true potential. So to start out, I want you to take a second and reflect over the past, let's say, year. When have you stopped putting forth effort? When have you kind of just given up? I want you to reflect on that. Think about times that you have, again, stopped putting forth the effort, or you didn't see a reason to put forth more effort. Go ahead, reflect on that. You can pause. I want you to write it down. So to start out, I want to start with a story. It looks at little baby elephants. So elephant trainers in India will take little baby elephants, these cute baby elephants, and in order to better train them and make them become more docile and more open to what the instructor is saying, they will start out by tying them to a post with a chain. And so this chain is strong enough to withstand the baby elephant trying to break free. So baby elephant will try to break this chain with no success. So later on, when the elephant has grown to their full size, this huge elephant, the trainer actually uses the same chain, or the same strength chain. They don't need to, create these big, huge chains to tie the elephant down or keep them where they need. Because what has happened is that from the repeated failure, the repeated not being able to break free of the chain as a baby, they've formed this belief, this elephant has formed a belief that, well, I can't break free of the chain. Even though they're this big, huge elephant and they could easily rip through this chain now, they still have this belief that they created when they were a baby that I can't break free of this chain. So this is a concept we're going to look at a little bit more in depth called learned helplessness. And it happens in a lot of different ways for humans as well. So learned helplessness is essentially, it's the tendency to lose the belief in your own level of agency or your own level of control or the amount of power you think you have in a situation from repeated exposure of a negative situation or outcome. So for the baby elephant, the repeated exposure of the negative outcome of not being able to break free of that chain created this belief that now I have no control over that situation. Even if I did try, I can't break free. So again, this shows up in a lot of different ways for humans as well. One example is people trying to quit smoking cigarettes. They will, a lot of times people will try a bunch of different methods over a number of years, never really have a successful outcome. They're never able to sustain that quitting. And so they will form this belief that they're helpless in the situation, that they can't quit, that cigarettes have the power. And so that no matter how much they try, no matter how many things they do, they're helpless. So they've learned from the repeated negative outcome that they are not able to change the situation or change their pattern of behavior. So I want you to think about, as a TSO, what are some negative experiences you've repeatedly encountered over the years on the job? So what is a very common situation that kind of comes up time and time again over the years? So take a second, you can pause the video here if you'd like, and then write down your responses and then come back. So then, how have those experiences impacted your growth as a TSA officer? How have those negative experiences changed the way you think about how much control you have in that situation. So an example I'll take for myself is that early on in my life, during math class, I always really struggled. I would never do very well in tests and, homeworks, always really, really struggled in math. And so as the years progressed, and that didn't really change all that much, I would put forth less and less effort, thinking that I didn't have the control in that situation, that I'm just not good at math. So I didn't believe I had the control to actually learn how to be better at math. So that's how it changed my growth. I stopped putting forth effort there. So that's another way of kind of looking at it, is where have you stopped putting forth effort in your role as a TSA officer? And can you connect that to some repeated negative experiences in your past? So again, pause. You can pause here. I really want you to take a moment and think about this, and jot down what you discover. So another way of looking at this, again, is your level of control. And in every situation, we are going to have things that we can control and things that we can't control. So a way of identifying this learned helplessness, and if you're exhibiting it, is write down a list of the things in any situation that you believe you have control over and things that you don't have control over. And then test yourself. Ask yourself, are there elements here that I can control? And if I can't control them 100%, can I influence them in a way? So I want you to, again, write down, think about that situation that you might have written down. In those situations, write down what are the things that you can control and what are the things that you can't control. So in the next video about this, we're going to look at how we can rewire some of the learned helplessness that we might have been instilled at an early age. So what we just did right there, going through those series of questions, is we developed our self-awareness. In Kagen training, it's pretty much always the first step, is we got to develop self-awareness about the situation. So then in the next video, what we're going to go over is how you can develop a growth mindset and how we can use that towards overcoming some of this learned helplessness. And then also learning how we can control what we can control. So how to better control those things that we actually have control over in a situation, and acting on those instead of things that we can't control. So if there's any questions or anything throughout this or the next presentation, this is the DFW Kagen team. Please send us an email. Love to help out any way we can. And